In this video, we are going to give an explanation to the if function. The if function is one of the most popular functions in Excel, and it allows you to make a logical comparison between a value and what you expect. It is a conditional statement and it is very useful. We're going to look at these examples. If the sales are greater than 40,000, it's good sign. If not, it's a bad sign. We're talking about these amounts. We want to expose or to have a check on these amounts and find out if it is greater than 4,000. If it's greater than 4,000, it's a good sign. If not, it's a bad sign. Instead of us coming one after the other checking on whether it is greater or less than 4,000, we could just use the if function to do that for us. In Excel, every function has a description and the arguments are being given to us to easily have an understanding and easily use the function. Let's get to it. So I'll start by putting equals to. I look for if. The description says checks whether a condition checks whether a condition is met and return one value if true and another if false. So I'm going to select it. We have the logical test. This is the criteria we're taking into consideration. We want to find out if this cell is greater than 4,000. That is our logical test. This is what we want to test. This is what we want to find out. Now, whenever you are using Excel, it depends on the machine where you are. Always look at the syntax. Always look at the argument, what they are asking you to do. Currently, we are at the level of the logical test. You see it highlighted. The other ones are not highlighted. So anytime you are in a function, you know exactly where you are by looking at the argument to see which one is highlighted, which one is not highlighted. In your own machine, you will find out your syntax giving you a particular description on how to use it. My machine says after the logical test, I should put a semicolon. If your machine is asking for a column, go ahead, put it. If your machine is asking for a comma, go ahead, put it. Just to make you understand that it's not forcibly all the machines or all the time that you have to put semicolon. As for me, I'm putting semicolon here because my machine is asking me to do so. So for me to leave from the logical test to the next level, they asked me to put semicolon. So I just put semicolon, and you see value if true is now highlighted. It means that now we are about to tell Excel what should happen should in case this logical test has been fulfilled, should in case it sees that E3 is actually greater than 4,000. So according to this, if it is greater than 4,000, we should have as description good. So I'm going to put this good in inverted commas open and close because this is not actually a figure. It is a word which will not actually be understood. So for me to directly paste this word in the cell as a result, I have to put it in inverted commas open because it is not actually a calculation. After the value if true, they ask me to put a semicolon, and you see value if false is highlighted. Value if false is what should happen should in case this condition is not fulfilled. Should in case it is not greater than 4,000, it is bad. So I still put it in inverted commas, open and close. So after I have given all the information, I close my bracket and I press enter. You see here, this cell is not greater than 4,000, so it's bad. If I drag this down, you see what will be bad and what will be good. It's amazing, right? Let's say instead of having good or bad, which are words, we wanted to have maybe figures. Let's say good. Let's say good should be 1 as a result, and bad should be 2. What do I want to do here? I want to make you understand the difference between a word and a figure in an Excel function. So here what I'm going to have is equal to, if this cell is greater than 4,000, the value if true, instead of good, I should put 1. In this case, I will put 1 without putting inverted commas, open and close, because this is a figure and Excel will easily understand this. If not, bad, and I will just put 2. Then I close bracket, I press enter. So instead of putting a bad, is going to put 2. And if I drag this down, you see where we can have 1, we can have 2, 1 representing good and the other one representing bad. So if we do not put this inverted commas, open and close, we'll have difficulties in getting a result. We'll have an error message. Let's get to the next case. If zeros are less than 4,000, it's bad, but between 4 to 15,000 needs improvement, and above that, it's a good sign. So in this case, you see that it is not just limited at the level of being good or bad. There's another element, which is improvement. How do we treat this? Let's go. So we start by putting the equal to sign. We say if our logical test, we're trying to find out if this cell is less than 4,000. So if it is less than 4,000, the value which will appear, or the value if true, should be bad. So we'll put bad. If not, so to have the value if false, it's now need a little bit of understanding. If this cell is less than 4,000, it should be bad. So how are we going to put this other condition? This first condition, the value if false of the first condition brings in another condition, should in case it sees that this cell has nothing to do of being less than 40,000, like 4,000, it means it is actually greater than 4,000. So we're going to put another if function still in the same function without actually putting an equal to sign. At the level of the value if false, we will just add another if function and start a new logical test to find out if this cell is instead less than 15,000. So if it is less than 15,000, what should happen? It should tell us, or it should give the cell a comment being improved. So after the value if false, I'm asked to put the semicolon. So now the value if false of this if function takes into consideration both for this if function and that of the first if function. So should in case this cell is not less than 4,000 and it is not equally less than 15,000. What does that mean? It means it is actually greater than 15,000, given that 15,000 is already greater than 4,000. So, should in case it is not less than 4,000, should in case it is not less than 15,000, it means it is actually greater than 15,000. So, the result should be good. So, from here, when I'm done, I close brackets. Here, we realize that I opened two brackets without closing. The first one was for this if function. I went along and I didn't close the bracket. The second if function had an opening bracket, so I'll have to close this two times. You see, the first bracket is red, being this bracket that I opened. All opened brackets have to be closed in an Excel function. So I'm going to close for the second time, and you see it's black, representing the bracket of the first if function. So when I press enter and I take it down, you see when the cell is less than 4,000 it shows bad. If it is greater than 4,000 but less than 15,000 it needs improvement, but greater than 15,000 tells us good. So this is all about the if function. It depends on where you have to apply it, but it is pretty simple. In the subsequent videos, we're going to see how to use it more easier and to get beautiful results. Thank you for watching, and get to you in the next video.